Poverty, generally considered an issue plaguing the Third World, is also a serious issue in the United States, among other First World nations. There are a variety of major causes for poverty and a variety of significant repercussions. This project is brought to you by Nate Miller and Megan Ryan. According to the government, a poor family is one whose total income is less than the amount required to satisfy the family's minimum needs. The Census Bureau determines the income level known as the poverty threshold required to meet those minimum needs. The poverty threshold, or poverty line, varies with the size of the family. For example, in 2006, the poverty threshold for a single parent under age 65 with one child was just under $14,000, and for a family of 4 with 2 children, it was just over $20,000. If a family's total income is below the poverty threshold, everyone in the family is counted as poor. The poverty rate is the percentage of people who live in households with income below the official poverty threshold. Poverty rates can vary tremendously based on group. For example, the poverty rate among African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans is more than twice the rate for white Americans. Families with a single mother have a poverty rate almost 6 times greater than that of two-parent families. The percentage of children living in poverty is significantly larger than that for any other age group. Young adults make up the next largest group. Inner-city residents have double the poverty rate of those who live outside the inner city. People who live in rural areas also have a higher poverty rate, especially in regions where job prospects are limited. There are a variety of causes for poverty. Many workers are unemployed or face limited work opportunities because of chronic health problems or disabilities. Others are discouraged workers who have given up on looking for work in a tough job market. Many impoverished people actually also have full-time jobs, but their wages are not enough to support a decent living. For example, take Ray, who makes $9 an hour as a full-time clerk in a clothing store. While he is at work, his wife stays at home with their 2 young children. Although Ray works 40 hours a week and his salary is well above the minimum wage, his annual earnings amount to just $18,720, which is below the poverty threshold for a family of 4. Economists agree that poverty and lack of income go hand in hand, but they have different ideas about the causes of poverty. Discrimination is a major cause of poverty. Various forms of racial and gender discrimination can lead to salary inequalities. Even when all members of a workforce are equally productive, whites are generally better paid than African Americans, and men are generally better paid than women. While racial and gender discrimination does still exist, economists generally agree that its prevalence has been decreasing. Another major cause of poverty has been the rise in low-skill service jobs. Globalization has led to a decline in domestic manufacturing. With this, a huge number of manufacturing jobs that previously offered good wages to less educated people have now been lost. As a result, many workers that would have otherwise been a part of the manufacturing industry have been forced to accept low-skill service jobs that offer significantly lower wages. This has in turn led to the greater impoverishment of general workers. Poverty is also extremely dependent on levels of education. The median income of high school dropouts in 2006 was just under $26,000. High school graduates earn about 2/3 more than dropouts, and college graduates earn more than 3 times as much as high school graduates.
In 2006, the estimated median household income in the United States was $48,023, which means that half the households earned more than this amount and half earned less. This figure tells only part of the income story. To fully understand poverty in this country, you also need to understand income distribution. Income distribution is the way in which a nation's total income is distributed among its population. The wealthiest fifth of American households earned more income than the bottom 4/5 combined. A study published in 1999 showed that after taxes are deducted, the richest 2.7 million Americans receive as much income as the poorest 100 million Americans. There are many causes of the income gap. There are significant differences in the skills and education of Americans. Those who are more highly skilled will earn higher wages. Labor skill is determined by education, training, and a worker's natural ability. Some people inherit large portions of money and earn their income through investment. Others inherit businesses and earn their income from the business's profit. These individuals have an inherent advantage in earning high incomes without necessarily having to acquire specific education or training. Wages also vary tremendously depending on the nature of the work being done. Various fields of work provide varying wages as determined by the demand for labor. Those who produce goods with a low market value will generally earn lower wages than those who offer unique skills or produce more expensive and desirable products. The food stamp program helps low-income people buy food. Benefits are provided on an electronic card that is accepted at most food stores. The government spends billions of dollars on programs designed to reduce poverty. This money is spent mainly on cash assistance, education, medical benefits, and non-cash benefits such as food stamps and subsidized housing. Critics of anti-poverty programs say that much of the money is wasted. Many argue that the programs themselves harm the very people they are intended to help. The criticisms have led to new policies. These include the Earned Income Tax Credit, the establishment of enterprise zones, job training and other employment assistance, housing assistance, and welfare reform. Enterprise zones are areas where businesses can locate free of certain state, local, and federal taxes and restrictions. Employment assistance. Federal and state governments have designed job training programs to help workers who lack adequate skills to earn a sufficient income. Housing assistance. Programs in which the government pays landlords to lower rent or where the government gives out vouchers to the poor to help cover part of their rent. Block grants. Federal funds given to the state in lump sums which help implement welfare programs. And workfare, a program requiring work in exchange for temporary government assistance. One current event related to poverty in Minnesota is that on April 9, 2014, the Minnesota Senate voted to raise minimum wage. Minimum wage has not been raised in Minnesota since 2005, and if passed in the House, minimum wage would raise to $9.50 by 2016. Raise also includes annual raises after 2018 to account for inflation. As many as 350,000 people could receive bigger paychecks because of this. This raise in minimum wage is a good start to help people in poverty